In a world where magic flows like rivers through the earth, a young boy named Lloyd stumbled upon a destiny far greater than he could have imagined. His story begins in the crumbling remnants of a ruined city, where he was found alone and trembling by a powerful sorceress named Meryl. She saw something in the frightened boy, a spark of potential, and took him under her wing to teach him the ways of magic. Meryl was a stern master, her lessons as unyielding as the elements she commanded. She began with fire magic, conjuring a blazing flame before Lloyd's wide eyes. "If you can't do this by sundown," she declared, "you'll go hungry tonight." Lloyd struggled, his small hands trembling as he tried to summon even a flicker. When he finally produced a tiny ember, Meryl scoffed. With a flick of her wrist, she unleashed a torrent of fire that singed his clothes. "This," she said, her voice sharp, "is fire magic." Next came water. Meryl demonstrated, weaving liquid into graceful arcs. Lloyd tried to mimic her, but his efforts were clumsy. With a smirk, Meryl summoned a wave that drenched him from head to toe. "This is water magic," she said as he sputtered, soaked and shivering. When Lloyd attempted wind magic, he managed a faint breeze. Proud of his progress, Meryl, unimpressed, blew a gust from her lips that sent him tumbling through the air. "That's wind magic," she said, her tone dripping with disdain. Undeterred, Lloyd crafted a delicate figure of Meryl out of ice, hoping to earn her approval. She smirked, seized the figure, and expanded it into a towering sculpture. "Novice," she muttered, dropping him from its icy grip. Lloyd, bruised but determined, promised to work harder. Meryl's stern expression softened into a rare smile. One evening, after Meryl had indulged too much in drink, Lloyd used healing magic to ease her discomfort. She woke, clear-headed, and pulled him into a warm embrace, thanking him. But her gratitude was fleeting. Moments later, she dragged him outside to practice more magic, ignoring his groans of protest. Time passed, and one fateful evening, Meryl was troubled over a mysterious box containing a forbidden magic book. Lloyd knocked on her door, calling out that dinner was ready. As Meryl tried to close the box, it slipped from her grasp and fell. Lloyd, ever helpful, reached to pick it up. The moment his fingers brushed the book, a surge of ancient knowledge flooded his mind, overwhelming him. He collapsed, unconscious. Meryl retrieved the book, her face grave. "This boy," she murmured, "has the qualities of the chosen one." She carried him to his bed, her mind racing. She wouldn't let Lloyd repeat her mistakes. Leaning down, she kissed his forehead, sealing his newfound power to protect him. The next morning, Meryl taught Lloyd about white mages, showing him recovery magic used to aid others. Lloyd watched in awe, marveling. "Master is so powerful." That night, she spoke of monsters, her voice steady until Lloyd asked about ancient magic. Her expression darkened, and she snapped, "You don't need to learn that. It vanished centuries ago." The following day, Lloyd attempted to summon his wand, but his movements were slow. Meryl struck him lightly, scolding, "Don't neglect your training." Later, she explained magic stones, artifacts that could transform objects around them into sources of power. Years passed, and Lloyd grew into a young man. Meryl, ever the demanding mentor, took him to a dense forest, handed him a knife, and said, "Get home within a week." Then she left, alone. Lloyd faced a monster and fled, climbing a tree to escape its claws. Panting, he muttered, "White mage magic can't defeat monsters. I have to run." He wandered, using recovery magic to make fruit edible and hiding in caves to avoid predators. Day and night, he honed his detection magic, ate monster meat, and crafted new spells. One day, a massive spider dropped from above, its legs skittering. Sweat poured down Lloyd's face as he ran, the creature in pursuit. Desperate, he cast a spell to boost his speed, narrowly escaping. After days of struggle, Lloyd reached home. While cleaning, he found a book about a nearby town and asked Meryl to borrow it. She agreed. Later, she burst in, declaring, "Let's develop magic to stop aging," and dragged him outside. Another day, while he was doing laundry, she insisted he help improve recovery magic, pulling him inside. At dinner, she unveiled a new spell, but Lloyd's exhaustion showed. She kept him awake all night, relentless in her pursuit of progress. The next morning, Meryl found Lloyd's room empty. The book she'd lent him lay on his bed, and worrying gripped her. Lloyd, meanwhile, had ventured to a bustling town. The sight of so many people left him awestruck. He used his only coins to buy bread, but before he could eat, a paper flew into his face, someone smiled, and walked away. The paper advertised a call for adventurers. In the town, a hero's party battled a cyclops, its massive club demolishing buildings. Lloyd watched, mesmerized. When the healer prepared to mend the wounded, Lloyd instinctively cast a buff, empowering the entire party. The archer struck the cyclops' eye. The tanker blocked a blow, surprised at its reduced force, and the mage bound the beast with magic. The hero delivered the final strike. The townsfolk praised the hero, but the tanker knew Lloyd's support magic had turned the tide. The hero tossed Lloyd 5 coins, calling it a D-rank reward. When invited to celebrate, Lloyd declined, unable to drink. The mage bristled at his attitude, and the hero scoffed, "White mages can't help in battle." The tanker, however, saw Lloyd's worth. That night, Meryl drank alone until a guest arrived, Will, a man from her past. He revealed that Lloyd had joined the hero's party. Meryl nodded, admitting she'd orchestrated it. "It's time for him to see the world," she said. "As long as he doesn't grow arrogant with his power." Will asked if she still regretted her past. Her lips tightened. "I won't make the same mistake," she vowed. Will recounted a dark memory. A demon lord, desperate to seize the forbidden magic book, had nearly destroyed everything in a self-destructive blast. From afar, Will had watched as Sybil, a white mage, used ancient magic to revive those slain by the demon lord at the cost of his own life. In a stunning twist, it's revealed that Lloyd is the reincarnation of Sybil, the hero who saved the world. In the present, a street storyteller wove tales of the hero's party, claiming heroes were chosen by a holy sword. This time, it was Alan. During a battle with a minotaur, Alan struggled until Lloyd's buffs lightened the tanker's shield and empowered the team. The mage bound the beast, and Alan defeated it. Later, the tanker, studying defense, confided to Alan that her shield felt strange lately. "I feel stronger," Alan bragged, dismissing training. The tanker frowned, troubled by his arrogance. When a golem attacked soldiers, the hero's party was summoned. Alan boasted it would be easy. At the site, no golem was found, but Lloyd's detection magic led them to its lair. Alan defeated one golem, but another emerged. Lloyd spotted a demon wielding a magic stone, controlling the golems. He explained its power to the party, buffed Lulu, and instructed her to strike the demon. She smashed it through a wall. Lloyd ordered Mia to retrieve the demon's staff, which she teleported to him. Lloyd sealed it instantly, furious at taking orders. Alan ignored Lloyd's warning and charged the remaining golem. Lloyd teleported to push Alan aside, saving him, but Alan, enraged, expelled Lloyd from the party, calling him useless and an eyesore. Lloyd left, head bowed, believing he lacked skill. The others rejoiced, but the tanker was heartbroken. Lloyd tried joining other parties but was rejected. Feeling defeated, he overheard someone seeking an unaffiliated white mage by morning, a task deemed impossible due to her condition. She spotted Lloyd and, desperate, dragged him to join her party, pulling him into a new adventure. In a vivid flashback, the S-rank adventuring party, renowned for their prowess, embarked on an rank quest to dismantle a notorious bandit hideout. Brimming with confidence, the team consisting of the fierce leader Louis, the stalwart tanker Dagus, the precise archer Cross, the fiery mage Silica, and the supportive white mage Clum charged into the fray. However, Clum seemed distracted, her mind elsewhere as the battle began. Silica unleashed a blazing fireball, triggering a massive explosion that rattled the hideout, while Cross provided cover with a hail of arrows. Louis led the charge on the front line, her sword flashing, as Dagus shielded her from incoming blows. When Dagus struggled against a particularly fierce bandit, Clum's buff spell bolstered him, allowing him to hurl his opponent aside with newfound strength. Hidden in the shadows, the bandit leader watched in horror, awestruck by the party's overwhelming power. Cornered, he noticed the S-rank plate gleaming on Louis' neck and, in desperation, raised his staff to summon a towering golem. Louis charged the beast, but her blade failed to pierce its rocky hide, forcing her to retreat. She called out to Clum for a buff, but Clum, lost in thought, didn't respond. After a second, sharper call, Clum snapped back and cast the spell, empowering Louis to shatter the golem with ease. The bandits were swiftly captured, and Clum apologized profusely for her lapse, her face clouded with guilt. Louis, ever understanding, reassured her and gently asked about her sister, hinting at a deeper concern. The scene shifted back to the present, where Lou had dragged Lloyd to meet her party, claiming she'd found their new white mage. The team Dagas, Cross, and Silicastered in disbelief, assuming she'd failed to recruit anyone. Louis introduced Lloyd. Only to realize she didn't know his name, he shyly clarified it was Lloyd, and she presented him to the group: Dagas the tanker, Cross the archer, Silica the mage, and herself, Louis, the leader. She welcomed him warmly, but Lloyd hesitated, admitting he hadn't agreed to join yet. The team groaned, teasing Louis for dragging him along without explanation, and suggested declining their upcoming quest. Louis refused, insisting someone needed their help, and explained to Lloyd that they were the only S-rank party available, as others were occupied. Lloyd wanted to help but doubted his skills, fearing he'd fall short. Louis, undeterred, proposed a test in the forest to gauge his abilities, assuring him that if he proved capable, everything would be fine. Under pressure from their high expectations, Lloyd was tasked with casting buffs on the entire party, a feat the others deemed impossible. Stunned but determined, Lloyd drew his staff and silently cast 5 distinct buffs, shocking everyone. Louis, curious, asked where his staff came from, and Lloyd casually mentioned using storage magic when she questioned if he'd already cast the buffs. The team was floored by his incantation-less casting. To test the buffs, Louis swung her sword at a tree, felling it instantly, leaving everyone dumbfounded. Lloyd, mistaking their shock for disappointment, apologized for his poor performance, stored his staff, and turned to leave. The party stopped him, incredulous, as he revealed he'd been fired from a hero's party for lacking power. Stunned, they asked why their previous white mage, Clume, had left. Louis explained that Clum's sister, Sylvie, was gravely ill, and the burden of adventuring while caring for her became too much, leading her to step away to avoid hindering the team. Lloyd, intrigued, asked about Sylvie's illness, learning it was a rare condition that turned her body into magic stone. Recalling his master's teachings, Lloyd requested to see her. At Clum's house, she recounted how Sylvie fell ill during a quest to extract magic stone, attacked by a monster, and left unconscious. Lloyd, sensing an unpleasant mana in Sylvie's room, examined her and found her hands and feet transformed into magic stone. He hypothesized that a high-purity magic stone had pierced her, causing the affliction, and confirmed it by inspecting the wound, assuring Clume he could cure her. Despite her doubts, after advanced healing failed, Lloyd began absorbing the corrupted mana while simultaneously healing Sylvia, a complex, self-made spell requiring extraordinary control. Louis, amazed, asked Clume to explain, and she marveled at Lloyd's ability to cast two spells at once with flawless mana manipulation, a feat beyond ordinary mages. Slowly, Sylvie's limbs returned to normal, and she awoke, tears streaming down Clum's face as she held her sister's hands. Clume thanked them profusely, promising a meal in gratitude, and urged Lloyd to care for the party, though he reiterated he wasn't officially a member and felt inadequate. At dinner, the team thanked Lloyd for saving Sylvie, but he brushed it off modestly. Luth playfully smacked him, urging him not to downplay his deeds, and Lloyd, warmed by their acceptance, asked to join the party. They welcomed him joyfully, and Lua called for a celebration, her teammates teasing that she just wanted to cut loose. With Lloyd now among them, the S-rank party stood stronger, ready for their next adventure.